find the culprit? Hold on, let me check it again. Let me turn my volume up and see if I get. Yes, there we go.
Was that okay?
All right, you're good. Thanks, Becky.
Thanks, Becky.
Much appreciated. Much appreciate. Preach, Becky.
Oh, jeez. The preach thing. Is that a radio thing?
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Becky. Becky's watching. Uh-oh. Hey, Becky.
All right.
We gonna do this or what?
Dude, let's do it.
So
all right.
we're gonna. What time is it?
It's 6:15, so I gotta
we're
call.
gonna
Let's call Harris.
Call Harris first.
Sure.
And
then we'll just do segment 1. We're gonna back it up and do segment 1, and then.
For those joining us on Facebook, we're getting ready to call Harris Stewart over at Trim Tab,
which is always an adventure in and of itself. So let's see if I can do this correctly.
And I'm gonna get a Trim Tab beer.
That sounds like a plan.
That's a good idea.
Should we start with the IPA? Start there. Or should we start with?
You got the number for him?
What are our options?
No, I got it in my email though. So hold on just a second.
Hold, please.
Let's see. Rye brown, barrel aged rye brown.
Ooh.
And IPA.
Probably the IPA.
A little bit IPA. Yeah. You ready for this, Aaron?
Yeah, ready
yes,
for this?
I am. Okay, I'm ready for this. Okay, there we go.
828.
So
Here, let me get so I don't call his cell phone out over the air.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Why am I getting?
If that would be the case.
Fortunately, we only have a few watchers. Well, I'll say fortunately this time. So,
but Becky's the master of the speed dial.
Hey, Harris, this is Aaron calling from the Beer Guys. How you doing? I'm doing awesome. The only problem is that my producer is out today, so I have to run the board. So I'm going to try and transfer you to the board to make sure that we can actually talk to you over the radio. And if I hang up, it's my fault completely, and I'll call you right back. Because I'm terrible about this. Okay, hold on for 1 second. All right, so now I press this. I go here. I should lock it in. And Harris should be on the phone. Hello?
Hello.
Yes!
look at that.
I did it.
First shot. Impressive.
It's almost like I run this place or something. Yes. I always said it's a bad thing when the program director actually has to do some running of the boards and actually doing radio. So
Hey, I like a DIY organization.
there you go. It's a lot of duct tape and spit. We're good to go. So
We have a lot in common.
there,
so.
I bet. So cool. Hey, listen, give us a second here. Tim's a little bit slow in getting your beers out. So
Gosh, giving me grief.
I know.
Get some Trim Tab IPA going here. Aaron doesn't get any though.
Listen, that's not very nice.
For acts of trash talking.
What's up with that? Okay.
All right.
All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a you'll hear some music intro, and then we'll bring you in, and we'll go from there. Super easy.
Excellent.
Okay.
Make it happen.
All right, man. Give me 1 second here. Da, 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 da. You ready, Tim?
I'm ready.
Okay, good. Let's go.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
I believe you have my stapler.
Now, back to the Beer Guys radio show.
And we are back with the Beer Guys radio show. On the phone right now, we've got a very special guest all the way over in Central Time, Harris Stewart from Trim Tab. He is the CEO and founder of Trim Tab Brewing. Trim Tab Brewing. Say that 3 times fast. How you doing, Harris?
Doing awesome, guys. How you doing?
Excellent.
Good. Harris, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate it. We just cracked open some of your IPA here that we actually picked up at the brewery a little while ago. We came over there for the Magic City Brew Fest, and I got some goodies there from the brewery. So we're enjoying them now. So, yeah, again, thanks for joining us. Talk some about Trim Tab here. We'll start off the name Trim Tab. So I know what a Trim Tab is, but what was your inspiration for naming your brewery that?
Awesome. Great way to start. So a trim tab literally is the small rudder on the larger rudder of a ship. So people that are familiar with boating or with flight might know what the actual mechanical piece is. I became aware of a concept when I was living up in National, North Carolina. I lived up there for about 8 years, and there's a concept that the trim tab has an amazing potential. So the smallest movement on the trim tab, no matter what it's located on, causes these disproportionately large impacts on what it does. So like an ocean liner, for example, the smallest movement on the trim tab, that's what pulls the rudder. That's what steers the ship. The same thing happens on airplanes. It's a small source of big change. So when I was founding the business, I really, really got excited about the idea of using the platform of craft beer to tell a message that was larger than beer, a way to help interact with the communities that we serve, and to at base, the whole concept of a trim tab is that we all have the ability to make our communities, anything that we have in our world, the small changes that we can affect on the world are responsible for the big changes we want to see. So craft beer is our way to really spread that idea and have a lot of fun while we do it.
Sounds like a plan to me. Harris Stewart from Trim Tab over in Birmingham joins us on the studio lines right now. Now, your logo is really cool. I got to say, it's one of the cooler things that I've seen recently. But I got to ask you, there's a 5 and a 33 on it. What does that mean?
Sure. So the 5 and the 33, we call that the two commitments of our company, and that the 05 relates to the Reinheitsgebot, the old school German beer purity law that said that beer is only beer unless it has a very few things in it: hops, malt, yeast, and water. They originally was just 3 because they didn't know yeast was involved with it, but 4 was the magic number. We say that you really can't make beer without a human being involved with it. So one of the commitments of our company is that we're really, really devoted to developing community groups, people that are movers and shakers in the community. So be it in Birmingham where we're located or in the new places that we're expanding out to, it's a really, really big deal to us to collaborate, reach out to the people that are making their communities a better place to live in. 33 is a number that represents our commitment to making very balanced craft beer. 33 in numerology is the number of balance. It's a number of kind of like high order. It's kind of a fun way for us to kind of tip our hat to the fact that we, despite the fact that we have a very diverse portfolio of beer, we want them all to be bound by a very common thread of being very balanced, well tied together beers. So
that's a pretty intricate logo and thought behind that, huh?
Getting way high level on us, Harris.
Yeah,
man, got a lot of thought behind this thing. There's when we started out, there were, over about like 3,500 breweries in the United States, and it begs the question, why one more? And we really wanted, when we started it from the ground up, before we had raised up a single dollar, before we had, raised up any money or brewed a single beer for that matter, we really wanted to make sure that we were being deliberate on what we were doing, and hope that's reflected in our brand work. So.
Now, Harris, you've actually graduated from the U of Alabama. We don't hold that against you here in Georgia, but that's okay. But you actually have a law background. Tell us about the journey before going to law school and then eventually going into brewing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So lived up in Asheville, North Carolina for, like I said, about 8 years. Worked up there for about 4 years after graduating. Worked with a couple different startup companies, and for a while worked for the Buckminster Fuller Institute, and he's the genius that pioneered the trim tab concept, and that's kind of where I got hip to that. That once the last company I was working for got acquired, I got the bright idea to go to law school and moved down to Alabama. That's where I decided to go to, and during the first year, people were having study groups at my house, and I was pouring beers for everybody. I was, probably at that point brewing like 3 times a week. And, it began to like raise some eyebrows. People that were in my class, like, what are you doing, man? We're all studying for like 10 hours a day, and you're, brewing for 10 hours a day. And it just kind of seemed to progress over the years. I moved up to Birmingham with my wife to have a clerkship during my first summer. And during that summer, again, I was, talking about beer more than I was talking about contract law or torts. We also just fell in love with the city of Birmingham, and really we had been talking for that point for about 7 years about wanting to start something up, but it wasn't until we really got situated into the place that we are now that we really felt the calling to make it possible. So really it was law school was the lightning rod for me to, discover my life's, passion and calling.
I think that kind of is the way it is with beer sometimes. Some people are just drawn to it, and no matter what you do to try and take a different path, you can kind of tell that it's drawing you to follow it a little bit more. Like you said, with the brewing 3 times a week, I'm jealous of that. I'd love to find time to brew 3 times a week. So I think I've got 2 batches in so far this year of homebrew.
Awesome.
So, but that's it's fun to follow that. So it's good that you went to law school to find your passion for beer there, right?
If nothing else.
Yeah,
there you go.
Great.
But yeah, I mean, that's what makes it so exciting, like developing relationships, with people that have started different breweries, because, even though my story is very unique and individual to me, everybody in one shape or form, and at least in my opinion, when it's at its best, people really have had that kind of wake up moment that, I'm not going to be happy for the rest of my life unless I do this. And, for the people that go to breweries, that are in their town or that travel and they see other places, that's part of the gratification, is that it's not just liquid in a glass.
Yeah.
There's always a story behind it. There's this rich, backstory that is very, very specific to whatever place and whatever beer you're talking about. So.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was on your website talking about your craft beer as a community kind of organizing type of a thing where, you're part of a community where, again, it's not just some yellow fuzzy liquid or brown fuzzy liquid, but it's a community gathering ideal, for lack of a better term.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's intrinsically human, and it's really intrinsically American. I mean, the foundation of this country was started in taverns across pints.
Yeah.
And the basis of humankind really is, like a lot of sociologists and anthropologists relate it back to the origins of beer. But kind of getting esoteric here at this point. But,
that's okay. We like that.
But I mean, for us and for all the people that have, grown with our company and are now like such supporters of what we do, is that we all believe very strongly that, this craft beer movement that we're doing, is about so much more than beer. It's about making our communities better. And that beer has got a wonderful way of bringing people together. Like on our cans, it says gravitational nectar. Besides being a kind of funny play on words about, beer, it being measured in gravity, is that, beer has this wonderful, almost miraculous, effect of bringing people together, getting conversations started, getting ideas going. And that, we feel that, we view it as a part of our mission to, make sure that we're getting those conversations started, getting those ideas, or at least making the environment where it's possible.
Now, Harris, I've heard you talking about your passion for beer here and such, but when I was over in Birmingham, I think it was Jerry at the J. Clyde told me that the real reason that you started Trim Tab was to give DJ Sex Panther a venue. Is that true?
Oh man, well, truth in part, not in whole. But yeah, it's I've got a lot of different passions and interests in my life, and that before I was living up in Nashville, like I've been DJing for probably about 15 years, and that was a full-time job for about 2 of those when I was up there. But yeah, I mean that one of our core values of the company is fun and a little weird. And we like to, as far as the 4 walls of the brewery, we like for it to be a place where we can celebrate craft beer, but also to be a really fun place to celebrate and enjoy craft beer. So
awesome. Harris, we're going to have to take a quick break here. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are talking to Harris Stewart with Trim Tab Brewing, and we will be right back.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Sorry about that. I kind of
Sorry, Harris.
Yeah, that was my fault.
You got it, man. No problem.
Let's take a quick break there.
All right. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Trim Tab IPA.
Good. So are we, as a matter of fact.
So we have someone complaining that you moved the camera and cut me out of the shot.
Oh, that was all on purpose.
Yeah.
Let me fix that real quick.
Jeez. Try and get.
I could be more front and center. It would be
Aaron,
nice. Yeah, there we go. Much better.
Center Brian. There we go.
Of course, it's Jerry that throws me under the bus.
Right. Yeah, we had him on a few weeks ago. He came over here, and we did a show on beer bars. So he joined us and talked about the J. Clyde there, and we had some guys on from Beer Bar here in Georgia. He had a rough time coming over here. His tread started separating from his tire. He had to get out and change a flat and all that just to make it over here.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah, it's a good time, though.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for having me on.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
awesome.
We appreciate it. So we're going to get back from the break here and ask you some more questions.
Break means I have to save the segment,
Yeah,
which
he's
means I'm a
getting
little
stuff
bit
together
slow
over there.
here. Well, give me a second here.
So you mentioned you were on the road. Where are you? Where are you right now?
So I'm down in Orange Beach, Alabama, down on the Gulf Coast.
Nice.
Okay.
You enjoy, for pleasure or for business or for both?
That for pretty much business, but it's hard not to have a little pleasure while you're down here.
That's
little
true.
bit.
Right.
So,
That's true. I guess a little bit early for the 4th of July weekend, but yeah. So
yeah, spent some time in Mobile today.
nice.
And just kind of like we can talk about it a little bit more. That a lot of what we've been up to recently is expanding our territory. So getting out of these new places has been really important.
Cool. All right. Well, then I'm ready to go in. It's
Ready.
We're gonna do Tim's whale.
Did
of
you hear
the
from
week.
your guy yet?
I haven't.
Haven't heard. Okay.
He
Just
might-
make sure he's not just standing out there.
I know.
Okay.
As I told him to call me when he gets in. Let me just make sure. Let's see.
Yeah. So when we come back, Harris, I got a little segment to do, and then we'll go back into to talking with you there. So
Sweet, perfect.
Let me just double check to make sure he's not like standing on the
trying to get in touch with you
outside,
there.
'cause Our building locks after 6 o'clock, so it's like sometimes people that show up, they're like, I've been out here for 15 minutes. I have no idea what's going on. So I just make sure he's not there. So, all
We'll
right.
talk more about your IPA on the air, but man, this is a tasty beer.
Great.
Yeah.
Glad you guys are doing
And
it.
you
Yeah.
know, we had the DIPA at,
The
at
dip.
Huntsville at Rocket City.
Yes.
That was
Yeah, it's
awesome.
Tesseré.
That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Should I ask now what that's called, or should we
Yeah,
even ask
Harris,
that? 'Cause
is
I don't
there,
know what the
does
name
your
of it is.
does your DIPA have a name, or is it just Trim Tab?
It does. It's called Tesseré.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I was
I'd love to talk about that. Yeah, it's,
Okay.
that's something we probably have plans to bring into production canning
heck
wise
yeah.
this next
Good.
year. So.
good.
Good. We're going to talk about your actual beers, I think, in this segment, and then maybe a little bit about, the crazy thought that you can actually have beer to go in your state. So,
Sure.
so we'll
Damn
talk a little
beer
bit
laws.
how that's helped over the past month or so. So, all right, here we go. Let's see here. Where's he hiding this here? So, okay, let's see.
What do you hear about what they can do in Oregon?
Yeah,
Right.
or California the same way. So, all right, here, hold on, guys. Here we go.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
Yar, Tim.
Man, we've got a good one this week.
Yeah, we do.
This one, people has been searching for this one for a long time. There have been rumors and sightings and rumors of
Innuendos
sightings
and
and all that, and it finally happened.
Yes.
So Burnt Hickory finally put digits in cans.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so they did a special canning yesterday. Their very first cans. They had a special tour at the brewery where you could come up there and literally get you a 6-pack coming straight off the line.
Gotta love that.
They're available at the brewery now. I know that they are headed out to retailers. Should be there very soon. So that's the one to look out for this week.
Yeah,
Get your digits cans.
We've been waiting on that for about 4 months or so.
It's been a
so
while.
I'm
So they had. Did you hear kind of the issues with that?
Yeah,
So they
they're-
had they quality control. They got the orange, the blood orange that they got was not up to their standards. It was not what they wanted for the beer. So they ended up releasing the unoranged version as a different beer.
Yep.
And getting what they needed to make the beer right and rebrewing it. So,
Yeah, so-
finally happened.
Well, congratulations to Scott and the guys
Yeah,
over at
absolutely.
Burnt Hickory. Finally, to get some digits and cans, and I am totally looking forward to that. So look out for that. Tim's Whale of the Week. And right now, though, we are coming back with Harris Stewart. He's the CEO and owner of Trim Tab Brewing over in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. He's talking to us now on the studio line. We're drinking one of his beers, by the way, Truck and Taps Beers of the Week. One of them is the IPA. I'm really enjoying this, by the way. So cheers, guys. I
Great.
know you're drinking an IPA as well, too. So
Right.
that's always key.
Absolutely.
Harris, you want to tell us a little bit about this beer?
Sure. So Trim Tab IPA is really meant to be a very complex but very subtle, very balanced IPA. It's really more about tropical fruits and aromas than back palate bitterness. Clocks in at about 6.3, around 61 IBUs. So kind of both moderate on the end of IBU and ABV terms, but really the Pacifica drives a lot of the aromas and flavors from there, hop from New Zealand, that and a little bit of Citra on the dry hops, so that you kind of get this combination of these, both floral and kind of citrusy tropical flavors and aromas with a nice kind of like lingering back palate bitterness. But
Yeah.
we want to make an IPA that was, really, really really, one that you could both sit with, but one you could also crush on a hot Alabama summer day.
Well, I think you nailed it. I think this is great. Yeah,
I get just a light, toasty, kind of toasty cracker in it that really plays nice with the hops in that. So it's I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I mean, that we really didn't want to use. That there's such great examples of West Coast styles and East Coast styles and New England styles, and that that we really wanted to not use anyone as a model as far as IPA. It's such a rich and crowded category. Frankly, there's so many great ones out there, and that we wanted both the malt to shine through a little bit more, let the more kind of like rounded hops come out, and that hopefully make sense at the end.
Yeah, well, speaking of IPAs, too, Tim and I and a couple of friends were out at the Rocket City Brew Fest a couple of months ago in Huntsville. We were able to get a hold of your Tesserae Double IPA, and I think that was the winner of the entire Brew Fest for at least two or three of us, right?
Yeah.
Tim, it was fantastic. Tell us a little bit about that one and how you developed that.
Sure. Tesserae, we started developing that after Craft Brewers Conference in, 2014. That we went out there and we got a great opportunity to meet Vinny over at Russian River, and we just fell in love with some really iconic styles of double IPAs out there, Blind Pig being one of them. The ones that have a bit leaner body, but they at the same time they're not cloying at all, but they really let those kind of bright hops shine a little bit more, and that. So we started developing that for a while. That really the hop that we became really, really a fan of for that particular beer was Mosaic. Mosaic and about four others. And then we started just kind of getting to work. About 3 months later, we came out with that. Tesserae was a Tesserae is in the 18th century, there were these mosaics that were done made out of glass called tessera. And they were made out of these square pieces of glass called Tesserae. So for us, the idea of Trim Tab being a small source of big change, Tesserae was the fact that you could have a single piece of, square glass, but when put together, it could be this amazing piece of art. We put it out, pretty much immediately sold out of it. We've done about 4 runs of it per year. Since then, this year, we're really excited that we plan to release that out in limited runs and cans as well.
Well, we're talking with Harris Stewart from Trim Tab over in Birmingham, and we're getting really super in depth. This is a high level conversation for beer, which is great, Harris. By the way,
yeah,
I'm
looking forward to that Tesserae making cans, because that was when I came over to visit Harris. I was disappointed that I couldn't get that in your tap room. So I was hoping to bring some of that back with me. But what I did bring back, I just opened a growler that I got over there. I have a growler of your barrel-aged rye brown that I picked up over there. So we've just opened that up, and we're enjoying it. I had some of that over there at the brewery, and so we're going to move on to that one now.
Yeah, so you've got a nice tap room out there. I've seen some of the pictures, too. What can you expect a little bit on the tap room? I see you got a lot of musical acts and things like that there. What's the kind of vibe you're creating over at your tap room?
Sure, it's very eclectic. Depending on which day you come in, depending on which month you come in. We call it the Tasting Gallery. It's a functioning art gallery. So every 2 months, we converted our whole facility was an old car museum, and where the tap room was an old paint shop for the museum, and we just reimagined the space. And we have about 2,500 to 3,000 square feet. That's just a really beautiful art gallery space, and that every 2 months the art circulates out. So it's always a different look that's in there. We have different bands, DJs, as well as things that are outside of music. We have a great relationship with the TED conference. We have a TEDx conference that happens every year in Birmingham, and throughout the year we have basically mini TED Talks that happen at the brewery, as well as other charity events that people come in and really, be it raising up membership or explaining what they do. We try to be really multifaceted with how we use our space. We're really trying to, make the Trim Tab idea become alive with, our actual space for it itself to be a Trim Tab.
So now, Harris, we know there was a big change in Alabama recently that we just spoke about with your beer laws. And you guys have actually been pretty progressive over the last few years in making those changes. So the latest being the beer to go, that you can sell beer at your breweries there. So kind of what has that meant for you? What kind of changes have you seen since that law went into effect?
Sure. Birmingham has emerged as a place for beer tourism, which was an unthinkable idea a couple years ago. There's such a great scene that's evolving here, and as you said, the laws have really progressed nicely to make not only this economy but this culture thrive. And now there's a lot of people from Atlanta, all throughout the Southeast, that come through our doors, be it for work or actually just coming there to see the breweries in the city. And that it gives us a way to, our three core brands, Pillar to Post Rye Brown, Paradise Now Raspberry Berliner Weiss, and Trim Tab IPA are year-round out in cans, and those can be found. But we also at the same time like to do really, progressive stuff when we can that's only available in our four walls. So that makes it where not only can they have the experience there, but they can bring it back home with them and can, get something that's, either fresher than you can get anywhere else, which is always going to be the case at the brewery, or find something that may be a one-of-a-kind release that we may never do again.
Yeah, now speaking of that, what are some things that we'll see in the future from you? What's kind of on the horizon for Trim Tab?
The most coming up closest to this, we have a collaboration that we did with Star Hill Brewing Company up in Virginia that we're going to release at the Sloss Fest Music Festival in Birmingham. It's a blood orange goza that's kettle sour. It's beautiful beer. We are about to release our fall seasonal rescue ship. It's a dry hop pale ale, really driven by Galaxy and Nelson Sauvin. It's a really, really bold beer, but really sessionable at the same time. It's awesome. I'd love for you guys to try that whenever you can.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Harris Stewart from Trim Tab, we got to take another break right now, but thanks so much for joining us on the phone over in Alabama, I guess. So again, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you.
Excellent. Well, you're listening to the Beer Guys radio show. Up next, we are going to have a giveaway to give away, and we'll check out the hot list. We'll be back right after this. Cool. All right. Harris, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and like I said, I will let you know, and I'll send you an email or whatever, and give you the links and all that kind of fun stuff that you can share socially and all that good stuff too.
Awesome, great, yeah, please do, and love to connect with you guys in the future.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we appreciate it. It was easy talking to you, Harris. Sometimes that's a challenge, but we appreciate you sharing that info with us, and I'm sure we'll be over there to your brewery soon. If you're ever this way, definitely give us a shout.
Yeah, definitely. I'll also keep you up in the loop with any kind of releases that we do. If you guys want to, have that be some beer that you kind of like focus on during your show.
Absolutely.
I'm good with that anytime. So cool. Harris, man, have a good one.
Hey, you too.
Thanks, Harris. Take care.
All right, bye. Okay, cool. All right.
You did it, Aaron. You did it.
Listen,
I can still hear myself, and I can still hear you guys. So yeah, hey, you didn't push the wrong buttons.
Yeah. I get, some of the barrels you get that coconut note,
That's
the vanilla and the toast. Yeah. And it's fairly similar to what it was when we had it over there, isn't it? It wasn't strong over there either, was it?
Yeah, it's. I remember the funk to it. I actually enjoy more of the nuances because I think when I was just hot and tired when I was over there, so I'm actually enjoying it more now than I did over there. But it's got some funk, but it doesn't overwhelm the rye and the brown. I don't think. I think it actually works nicely.
The rye is actually kind of light. There's not a ton of spice from that.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. It's 5.5%, but I guess if the original was 5.5%, I guess we're not even recording. So
no, we're not. I saw you leaning into the mic. I was going to let you go. Just go for it.
Just do it. Keep me in the habit of doing that.
Lean on in there.
I've seen. I used to watch Frasier or something. Wasn't that a radio show where they all looking? They do that look where they're just kind of rotating around the mic.
When I first started, I was like this, and Aaron kept going.
Yeah.
There, so we have to do an NPR show one time. This beer is delicious, don't you think?
Yeah,
it's fantastic. I get
think
notes of coconut.
Mascara.
It does. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate you noticing that.
I stole one of your water bottles.
Yeah, I got like 14 over here.
So I wonder if that guy's ever going to show up.
I don't know. No, he said he was on his way. So, and then, yeah.
I remember that it was kind of a big deal when Mother Earth showed up here, and then I couldn't remember where it was from. I thought it was from one of the Carolinas, but that's from California.
It says it's handcrafted in Vista,
California.
California.
Yeah. I always thought it was like, man, it's a shame that didn't get more traction, but you know, it's not even a local beer, so I guess it's not that surprising to, you know.
Did you want to get some of that DeGard out?
We can, yeah. Which one do you want to start with?
Well, I had, what was the, so you had Apricot Boo, which I've had, which is delightful. What's the others you had?
You've got Hosa, which is the dry hop goza.
Okay.
As I mentioned to you, there were a lot of dry hop gozas in the
Okay,
I
I could see that. Yeah.
So there was the Hosa, and there was the Houblon Peche, which is
That's peaches
Berliner, peaches and dry hops.
and hops. That's that Houblon. Yeah, let's Houblon Peche it.
I really don't know why my thing isn't getting colder.
Cooler's not been cooler.
Yeah, all this stuff it's up against frozen stuff. I don't know why it's not more free.
Are you trying to tell me that Houblon Peche is not ready to drink?
Not super freezy. I mean,
That's good enough. I'm going to drink it.
all right, fair enough. Oh, I did put it in about an hour and 15 before coming over here. I'm a little surprised. It is a 750, so there is a little bit of starting to well up.
That must be crap room prep. Oh,
yes.
Oh, so look. He
Get your-
enters and he
Whoa.
screams.
I know, I'm an intimidating person.
This is my studio. You're
You had
spilling
the
beer
guard?
on my studio.
DeGard, I've never heard.
yeah, right. This tastes like nasty cheese.
Does it really? Oh,
I hate this.
wow! It looks
What'd
like
you get? What'd you get? You got a funk one. Do you have 47 napkins?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can probably find some.
yeah.
Quick,
Well,
so-
I got.
Set it in your cooler, B.
Yep, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
This is the Tim.
Hey, man.
Nice to meet
How
you.
you
I'm
doing?
Mike.
Nice to
Very
meet you.
you.
There'll be a puddle in the bottom of the cooler, but that's all
Either
right.
way, I was telling him, I'm really sorry for the
Okay.
way.
That's-
Literally
it
beyond my
happens.
control, but either way, I'm terribly sorry.
So,
I mean, it's got some funk for real, for sure.
Well, it was also suitcase aged for at least 8 hours.
yeah,
That's
nice.
The best kind of age right there. That's just good seasoning.
Suitcase aged, yes. A nice, funky, old world suitcase that I probably bought in my travels somewhere when the last suitcase broke.
What is the name of the brewery that this came from?
DeGard.
DeGard?
Yeah, they're out of Tillamook,
Talking
Oregon.
about this one, by the way.
They can't hear us.
Had you not heard of them?
They can hear us now.
Okay. That's,
Oh, they can hear us now. Okay. Houblon Pêche.
They can't speak French.
yeah, it's
It's got some funk to it.
it's probably highly sought after with the beer trader.
Oh, yeah.
They're it's for one, they're not that expensive. A lot of these things, I mean, relatively speaking, right?
Drinking there, all the stuff pouring is really reasonably priced. These were probably in the $15, $16.
Which
well,
is not
13
bad
to
for that
16.
kind of beer, though.
Yeah,
So
depending on
for
what you got.
$7.50
Yeah.
of that beer.
I really want their unblended ale, which is their lambic, their like base beer. I wanted so much of that to take back. It was on tap. Oh yeah, it was on tap, but no bottles. Nope. And they said they'll never bottle it because they don't want to let the secret sauce out. But that stuff is great. Oh, it's wonderful. It's my favorite thing that I had when I was there.
How many did you wind up?
Breweries. Let's see. This time around, I hit. Hold on. I hit Cascade because I always hit Cascade. This was a short trip, so I hit DeGard, Cascade. I went to a bottle shop, which was, you know what? I did go to, we got fairly hammered. I went to a few. So I also went to a little place hold on, what's the name of it? I need to get the name in case you guys ask me on the air. Tugboat Brewing. They have a thermonuclear beer that's like 14% that they've been doing for years. Back when that was a crazy notion.
Yeah.
And that's the place where they have an actual, I think it's an Emmy on the wall, an actual Emmy. One of the owners or somebody.
I saw that
Yeah,
picture.
it's an actual honest to God Emmy. The thing's heavy, but yeah, they just happen to have that out, so it's 14%. That's just yeah. 10 Barrel has a brew pub, and what's the place next to it? It's it's like Bike Chain or. I need to look it up. It's a cool little place. It's they've got a little garage in there, and they have those bikes where you sit at a table and everybody pedals, but they're facing each other, and you rock it around town drinking beer. It's so the whole place is like a weird bike garage, but you drink there, and it's pretty cool. Let me see.
Looking off the calories, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I got lucky when I was there. Bourbonic Plague was pouring. It's 2013, and they told me that this because it was Bourbon Barrel Aged Beer Week is the only reason they put it on. They've only had it on twice this year, and this was the second time, and it was going off like a couple of days after I left. I totally lucked out with that.
We have a barrel aged rye over here.
Oh yeah.
That was really nice.
Trim Tab. That was our guest.
Yeah,
this week,
yeah.
so
How did you guys?
Good.
You guys already
Yeah.
have
Yeah, we had to.
Here, I'll
We were kind of late
Yeah.
coming, so we had to call him, and so we did. We kind of do some things out of order sometimes, or we
Purple
go
raspberry. That's what I had there.
second do segments 2 and
So
3.
we're going
and then
into one right
Yeah, we're
now,
gonna
right?
open it up and
So
talk about.
Oh, Chernobyl.
this will be a
stuff. That's what it
confusing
was.
YouTube video or
It
Facebook
will be.
video.
That's okay. It's out of order.
It was Chernobyl stuff.
all
What did I
out.
say? Thermonuclear.
Thermonuclear. Chernobyl. Well, it's
stuff.
kind of
Yeah,
close.
that's
It's
what
the same
it
thing.
is. Chernobyl
So yes.
stuff.
So I'm going to say a secret, by the way, to our Facebook fans on live. I'm going to release this show early because it's the 4th of July weekend.
Okay.
So as soon as I get it done on Thursday afternoon, I'll put it on the podcast so people can listen to it on their drive over the
Fancy.
weekend.
There you go.
That's what I want to do. So
That's what it was. Backpedal.
the little things I'm going to do. So, all right. So we're going to actually
All right.
do this bass backwards, as they say. And let me just make sure I've got.
Just let me know if you want me to talk.
Well,
You can
know, I don't know if you want to
chime
talk
in
about
whenever
that.
you want to.
I didn't want to
Now,
interrupt the
Mike,
interview.
you're welcome to. You want to get on and
If you're not able
Press,
to,
man?
If you want
We'll-
me to,
we'll
I-
stay-
I'm here to make
we'll
a
talk.
few
I mean,
sense.
no, I don't see you with any ribs or anything. So
Yeah.
I even offered to buy them myself, and it's a long story.
Okay. Taproom Press. Cool.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
Is my mic back on? I had
Mic
some
your mic,
check.
everyone's back
Okay.
on. Sorry,
Okay.
I
Semblance.
just want to make sure no one gets in trouble with anything they
Saison.
say. So,
Saison.
syphilis. What's
Syphilis. Yeah. No, that's not
I'm
it,
sorry.
Brian.
tell me your name again. I'm sorry. Just make
Mike
sure.
O'Sullivan.
Mike O'Sullivan. That's right. O'Sullivan. Okay.
We can call you Mike O'Shaughnessy.
Mike O'Shaughnessy.
And if you would
Incognito.
I've been called much worse.
Cool. All right. Everyone be quiet. We're going to actually start the radio show now. It's going to be very exciting.
We got a really big shoe.
a big shoe for everybody. Okay, here we go.
Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Lady and gentlemen, the beer room.
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And it is the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website. We are radio for the local craft beer movement. I'm Aaron Williams.
I'm Tim Dennis.
Yes, you are.
We got a good show this week, Aaron.
We do.
So we have on the phone with us, we're going to have Harris Stewart.
Yep.
From Trim Tab Brewing out of Birmingham. And we've got a couple friends in the studio with us today to chat and drink and share some beer. We got Brian Hewitt, friend of the show. And Brian just returned from a trip from Portland.
Yes.
Brought some beers to share.
That's
Portland, Oregon.
And we've got Michael Sullivan from Taproom Press here to chat and drink some beers.
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. So that's it.
We got a full house.
That's what we got, Aaron.
Hey, guess what? It's the 4th of July weekend.
It is.
It's very
time
exciting.
to party. Barbecue grills and fireworks.
Barbecue grills, fireworks, and
And
nice
what else?
summertime beers.
Beer.
Kind of like Truck and Tap's beer of the week.
Crack open a...
I'll fix this in post.
I could improvise one for you.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
Oh, yeah. And you were kind enough to bring some
We got it.
beer.
Yes.
You did.
So for our special guest this week, I went over to Birmingham not too long ago, and I went by Trim Tab, and I got some beer at the brewery there, and brought those over for us to drink. So I have their IPA, which is a very tasty beer. I've got their Rye Brown, and I have a bottle of the barrel-aged Rye Brown that I got a growler fill of over there.
Excellent. Now, we were had some Trim Tab when we came over for the beer fest. You went to the Birmingham Beer Fest,
Right.
Magic City, a couple of weeks ago. Then we went also to the one in Rocket City in Huntsville, and they make some great stuff. So,
The Dippa.
The Dippa is fantastic.
Love that beer.
It's called their Tesserae Dippa, which is a fantastic beer. So looking forward to trying those. But first, we actually have to start talking about some news. So here we go.
What's in the news? The Beer Guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines.
So we've got some good news. I don't know if we call it breaking news, but some good news as well. And I messed that up.
We want to back this sucker
Let's
up?
back the sucker up and do it. See, look, here's...
Forget your weekend review. We ain't got time for this.
So this is why...
I know.
Marquise.
You know what's kind of funny, though, is seeing you back on the board just reminds me how much better we run when you're not on the board.
How awful I am on the board.
So that's great.
Is
When
that
you're
it?
not trying to do the show and operate the board at the same time.
Exactly.
Well, as Orpheus says, don't look back.
Don't look back.
I'm just
Don't look
I'm so
back.
bad. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure I got
Damn
this
you,
right.
Marquis, and your
Okay,
What's
good.
in the news?
Child.
Just got to make sure I got
Yes.
it right. So that's what's called fix it in post. No
Yeah.
Bill O'Reilly here. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
We'll do it live. So, okay,
So, want me to bring us in and just say, hey, Aaron,
yes.
what'd you do this week?
Yes, let's do that. So, yeah, whenever ready.
All right. So, Aaron, a busy week, man. How'd your week go?
Well, your week was much busier than mine, I must say. Mine was pretty quiet. I laid low, actually. And you know what? I kind of got into a style of beer that I haven't had in so long, the Hefeweizen, and also some wheat beer. So I actually have been recovering from my California trip the week before. Had a Funky Buddha Floridian Hefe and also a J-Dubs Passion Wheat, also a Tropicalia and a Sweetwater IPA. It's a whale these days now, of course, when you have some Sweetwater beer.
Yeah, right.
They've been stolen.
So we'll talk more about that
We will
soon,
talk
yeah.
more about this. You, however, had a much better week than I
gosh. So I went down to celebrate with Brick Store Pub for their 19th anniversary, and they put on a lot of awesome beers. It was a locals day. I went down last Saturday and enjoyed some beer. Ended up staying there for like 5 hours. So we got a table, and some friends just kept coming in and out. And so we sat there chatting and snacking and drinking beer and tried a lot of good stuff from Three Taverns and Wild Heaven and Brew Pub that's coming up soon, Good Word Brewing.
Nice.
They had their Bridges on, which is an American Wild Ale. That beer was phenomenal. Brian, you had that one too. So
I liked it. That was very, very good.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite. And they said very fruity, but they swore there was no fruit additions to it.
Okay.
So,
It's like mangoes and raspberries and things like that.
It was citrusy, mangoey,
Yeah.
so just really good. So also went to a bottle share. Jason, that owns Hot Spot Beer Tours, celebrated his birthday, had a bottle share.
Happy birthday, Jason.
We had some See the Stars there, a bottle of See the Stars, and
Mexican cake.
Mexican cake. That one was there. I tried the first Monday Night Garage Club beer.
Okay.
The one the quad that they had. So
Nice.
So that was it, man. And then got to go to a preview of Reformation's Lark that's just released.
And that's a prickly pear.
That's a prickly pear wheat. And when I
Okay.
first tried it, I wasn't quite sure what to expect of it. I really like that beer. It's really nice. It's a light, nice fruitiness. The prickly pear is unique. So that was my weekend beer.
Mike,
that was it, man.
Do you have anything good to drink over the week or so? Of note?
Yeah, I've downed as much Wise Blood as I could possibly find.
There you go.
From Wild Heavens.
Yep.
Fantastic. And then I got to sample some stuff from Highwire out of Asheville, North Carolina. They just opened up Georgia.
Yep.
I got to try their Hoppy Lager and then their Bed of Nails Brown. Both of them were fantastic. But I'm looking forward to trying some more stuff that they got.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're opening, I guess, northeast of Georgia. Not necessarily the exact metro Atlanta area, but if you're one of us Gwinnett County folks, you can also sample
So
that
I
too.
sent
That's
them an
coming
email
as
to
well.
ask. They said, as far as Gwinnett, like you said, and they hope to be in Atlanta by fall.
Yes,
as they
so
said.
I'll have a track on that. Maybe I can bring some in if I can find some. So
Go for it, Aaron. You can do it.
I will try to do it. So I think now it's about that time where we need to talk about some headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines.
So we just talked about the Sweetwater IPA being a whale this week, of course, as we talked about last week. Had a big heist. 2 truckloads of Sweetwater were stolen. Yep. And we have some news, actually. We just got word earlier this week that they found most of the beer.
Right.
So
they said
good.
Short a few cases, I think.
Yep.
They recovered it all. So
yeah, so that's good. That's good that they found it. Hopefully they can find the culprit soon enough. But the bad news is it's all going to be a drain pour.
Yeah.
So
if there's any silver lining to that, I did ask, Sweetwater about that, and they said at least the recycling facility that they're sending it to uses everything. The glass, the paper, the metal, everything. So
not a total waste, but still.
At least it's not just all going in a landfill.
Yeah, but of course
Can I lay in the bottom of that drain?
When they're empty in the bottles, you got that covered.
Yes, mouth open, bottom of the drain.
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully, like I said, they'll catch the culprits pretty soon. And Sweetwater says be patient. They may be running out here in the Metro Atlanta area until they can replenish that stock. But the big news of the week really was an article in the AJC over the weekend talking about Governor Nathan Deal and big donors to his campaign that were kind of hidden from public view, but the fine folks at the AJC were able to uncover it. Tim, guess what one of the largest donors to the Deal campaign is?
The Taco Society of Georgia.
You're close.
Yeah.
You got that. You're almost there.
Yeah.
One more guess.
Falafel Society?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No,
One more time.
yeah,
No. Actually, no, of course.
I bet I could guess if I kept
Crepe
probably
Society.
could,
Yes.
yes. It's unfortunately for Deal, that it is the Beer Distributors Association. It was one of the biggest donors, shielded from public view from that. So it comes not nearly as shocking a surprise as that all beer laws that are kind of hoping to relax the beer laws for breweries and small craft brewers are killed in the session before they even get up to a vote.
Yep.
I wonder why that happens.
When things do make it to a vote, and I've said this a few times, we see them pass pretty well, by a large margin. So it's just the challenge of getting them out to the floor for a vote.
Yeah, and here's a frustrating thing, and of course we've been contacting the Distributors Association and some other groups here on the quote-unquote other side of the situation. They're quite content to give us some press releases, but they will never go on the air. We've been refused pretty much from everybody, lawmakers, again, the Distributors Association, those types of things. So the jury still stands and the invite's still out there. We'd love to come talk to you, but like I said, they've said no before. But again, to me, and this is the frustrating thing about it, this is similar to the Sunday sales that happened several years ago. It's going to happen. I mean, we're going to have direct sales from brewery. It's going to happen. But it's going to be done kicking and screaming. And so by the time we get there, we're going to be so far behind the 8 ball that Alabama, North Carolina, Virginia, all these southern cities are going to be so far ahead of us that we are going to be behind the curve, and it's really going to be sad. And I can guarantee you that there will be some really good brewers that won't make it through this because of these laws or the lack of laws that are being passed right now.
It's a challenge to start a business
Sure,
anywhere, to start
absolutely.
a brewery anywhere. It's more of a challenge in Georgia.
It
we've
is.
seen, we don't mean to harp on this, but this is important stuff to the beer business in Georgia. And, research shows that brewers in other states make, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like, what was it, 379 times more than what brewers in Georgia do.
It's exponentially more. And you know what? I mean, again, even if craft beer is not your thing and you're listening to us on the radio and you're not a craft beer drinker, this is a small business thing. Think about the fact that somebody who creates something is not allowed to sell their product directly to the consumer. They have to go around to go to a distributor to the consumer. So if you live next door to a brewery, you just can't walk over to the brewery and get a beer. You have to have that beer has to be trucked to the distribution warehouse, to the bottle shop, and then you've got to buy it. So it's really not a favorable outcome for not only the brewers, but for the consumer as well.
Sure, you can go to any brewery, talk to 99% chance you would be able to talk to the owner of the brewery there.
Yeah.
Talk to him about the fact that he's a small business owner. Talk to the employees there. See what it means to them. See what it means to the community. And it's a lot more than just an easy way to get beer.
Yeah, it is, and if you ever doubt that, go to North Carolina, go out of state, and just kind of see the brewing scene that's happening. Going to California last week was an eye-opening experience for me to see exactly how this can work, and it's extremely frustrating for me here. So,
absolutely, yeah. So, well, that's our news. We had some other stuff, but we stuck on that, Aaron,
maybe we'll
because
cover later in the
it's
show.
important.
But again, this is important stuff. Exactly.
But coming up, we're going to talk a little more with Mike and Brian. We're going to talk with Harris from Trim Tab. You are listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show, and we will be right back.
Cool.
I was going to say there was no time for it, but I was like, it's a tax issue too. If they make more money,
Sure.
they pay more tax.
Of course.
More
Of course
roads
they
and
do.
bridges and schools.
More
and shit,
taxes,
so,
more
yeah.
jobs. It's just it's super frustrating.
Should we open up another beer?
I
Because
tell
Sure,
people
man,
so
sure.
dry
all
right now.
the
It
time
hurts.
because there are people, tons of people that still have no idea this is going on, and then I'll just
Nope.
give them the situation like, hey, so you have friends come in from out of town, what do you want to do? Hey, there's this big brewery, Sweetwater in Atlanta. They have a really nice facility. You want to go down there and check out some beers. You go down there,
this is
fall
kind of
in
a
love
big
with their
deal,
beer, and you can't get it. You have to go find a package store. And you
Exactly.
can't even look online. Or did they finally
changed
pass
that. It's
that?
changed
Right?
They
that
did,
now,
yeah.
yeah.
They can use social media now, so that's the one little thing. So
Still,
As
Yeah,
with
it makes no sense, and that's the most extremely frustrating thing, And like I said, when I went to California, I'm like,
there we go.
I went to a place called Bottle Lock,
I have to
and they're
make a
fairly
face,
new.
'cause
They
sure.
don't necessarily have a
My
huge
type
distribution
always
list, but
make
it's like I
faces.
walked
That's
in
right.
there,
Faces must
you
be
could buy
made.
beer, and then they had bottles for sale. It's like
Right.
I'm trying to find out what their other
do what you
They
want. And,
have
I mean,
a
it makes so
triple.
much sense.
Boneyard's
I did.
triple
It's
IPA
delicious.
is-
It's delicious. Yeah.
Makes my nipples just painfully
Really?
hard. It's so
Painfully
good.
hard.
Yes.
That sounds like a
what you
good
got
beer,
on it,
man.
Brian?
Notorious IPA Cubed is their triple. Their
Okay.
triple would kill almost anything in this area.
What you got over
Boneyard
there?
Hop Venom.
Yes,
Boneyard Hop.
It's a
Venom.
Crowler out of Portlandia of Oregon.
I love me of some Portlandia, even though I'm a
I just love
Seattle
Portlandia.
guy, but Portlandia, yeah, exactly. So
Are people in Portland that weird?
yes,
I believe it.
yes, they are.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Again, as a native of Seattle, there's enough
Keep
weird people
Portland weird.
in my neck of the woods
And
that are
they've succeeded
weird.
in keeping Portland
Yes.
weird, even though I'm not there anymore.
That's true.
I didn't think they could do it, but they
Keep
They
Buckhead
mustered
weird.
it without you.
yeah, I know. I'm trying to make Buckhead weird now.
This is way too clear to be a Northeast IPA.
Oh, if it's Northeast, it's not a Northeast IPA. Well, then it can be no good.
well, it's from Portland. Of course,
Of
it's not.
course, it's not Northeast.
It-
Exactly.
they
Thank
kind
you.
of are
Well, it
part of
should
the
be.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest cans. By the way,
that's
Now the
nice.
triple.
This
no,
can
the
is
triple
awesome.
is even
By the way,
better.
this thing is huge.
That
It's
is
like a,
friggin'
it's like a
awesome.
Foster. It's like a Foster's can from back in the day. Remember the oil cans used to have?
Oh, the oil
That's
cans.
not. That's packaged for sale?
It's,
Yes.
Holy.
That's from a growler shop or
No,
growler
that's
shops
they
in
filled that.
Oregon.
It's a crowler, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
not packaged that way.
Okay.
No, it's not
So
packaged
you
that way. They
okay?
filled
So you
it.
can't
It's a-
get it. You can't buy a 4-pack of those.
Let
Big
me get a
beats.
sixer.
let me get.
Yeah,
you could.
let me just get a bunch of those.
You could.
Have you? Yes. Have you been drinking? Yeah, I've only had 2 beers though.
It's only 64 ounces.
2 cans of beer.
That one. Yeah, I guess we throw that on top. Sure.
That's good.
The ice.
I do like
Oh, yeah.
that.
They do.
I like that a lot.
They do an excellent job, and like I said, that as good as this is, the triple is just. It's High or Tropicalia level.
Wow.
quality. Yeah.
It's This is the Boneyard Hop Venom, by the way, from Bend, Oregon. It's a company out of
That's super
lovely
smooth.
Bend, Oregon. This is really nice. This is super. Yeah,
Bend, Oregon.
And that's as
Delightful.
yeah, that makes me
yes,
happy.
we all enjoyed in school. We all like yelling Bend, Oregon, and then laughing hysterically. Bend, Oregon.
Dorks.
Yes, yes.
We're leaving nowhere. Hey now.
But
Oh yeah.
It's a joke that we all made.
I hate that sports weekend too, because that is just the perfect timing for free marketing.
We
for
should
barbecue
totally
place.
do a
There you go.
in a world where
In a
Dun,
world.
dun, 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 dun. Brian can see the city lights. I told you the Salisbury Hill story, didn't I?
Yes, yes, you did.
in a world where
I'm
Adam
following
follows
Reformation
Brian
Brewery
to the
now on
bathroom.
Untapped. I'm very excited about that as a verified venue, apparently. So I just
Verified.
I unlocked a promo. It's very exciting. Okay.
Boy, all this alcohol and doing the show out order. I don't.
Are you
I
all
don't
messed
even know.
up? Good thing
We're
I'm-
going
good thing
into
I'm-
4. We're going into
We're going into
segment 4, right?
We're wrapping up.
Jeez.
We've already talked to Harris.
So
Talk about that
tasty.
swag.
Yeah, we got a
Such
giveaway to
taste.
give away.
Now, okay.
We can talk
You'll
more
make
about some
it
headlines. We can come back to headlines and
Such taste.
talk
so
more to you
flavor.
guys a little bit too. So
We'll just ban.
We can-
We covered Sweetwater
and Nathan Deal.
and
so.
Nathan. So that's the big stuff.
Yep.
If you want the full scoop, turn into This Week in Georgia / Alabama beer.
That's right.
Check out beerguysready.com.
Did you take us out of that break from number 3? I forget.
I did. I
Okay.
just took us out.
I mean, but on the third segment.
All
right, I'll
what
bring us
segment
back
did
in.
we just do?
We just did segment one,
right?
It's okay.
No, I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know the other
Well,
one.
I'll bring us back in. That's fine.
Jeez.
I know, Tim, you're a mess.
Marquis, help!
I know.
Help, Marquis.
Marquise, this is what happens. Everything falls apart when Marquise is not here, and it's the worst.
We've got some awesome beer. He would love all these.
He
Just
would love
them.
all of
Oh
them?
my god.
Marquis, our producer, his wife is pregnant in the hospital.
Yes, so
Baby
hopefully
in the
everything is
bed,
all
so-
safe, and we're
Congratulations.
And
we're-
when we started
we're
the
toasting
show,
to your thing,
like
yes.
the first show he was in here with us, we asked him to try. He's like, I don't like beer. And then we had Bread-O-Matic. That was the one that changed him. Was Bread-O-Matic.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
And then he went out the next day and bought a 6-pack of Athena, and now he's in here. Well, I get notes of I don't care for this. It's too.
Yes.
This and that. He went from 0 to beer snob in like 5 months.
Is that
It happens
diacetyl
so
I get in
fast.
this beer?
Yes,
I don't believe anybody when they say I don't like beer.
that's right.
you haven't
You just
drank it
haven't
yet.
tried the right beer, and that's
Exactly.
that's what he said. He said he drank stuff like Corona and Heineken and that, but we got him some Killdozer, 2-year-old Killdozer,
Oh, that Killdozer are so good.
and
Yes.
Bread-O-Matic and Athena, Paradiso. I think I had some Paradiso at that time.
Did you? Okay, that's good
so
stuff
good.
too. Yeah.
But the coloring of it's beautiful. I think that beer is one of my favorite beers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that high wire. My local bottle shop's supposed to have it in on
They
Friday.
have a
so-
coffee high wire. I think I had over there, don't they? Is that?
So,
I think it was a
what
pretty
did they- what
pretty
did they-
good coffee.
What did they spell me on at the restaurant? It was Bed of Nails, which is a brown, hoppy lager, an IPA, a wheat,
Don't touch me.
and I think that was it.
Okay.
But I think there was 1 or 2 more that are coming soon, but they didn't have samples of it. But the hoppy lager was really nice, really easy, dry,
Cool.
little citrusy.
Hoppy lager.
Yes.
So is it just me, or I think it's you might be leaning in and out of the thing. Maybe that's what. Because
That might be what it is, yeah.
He's all
Might
over
be.
the place.
I'm
man.
so
There's no-
sorry.
he's-
I've been drinking in traffic. It's so
He's-
sorry.
Drinking in traffic.
drinking in traffic.
Well,
I brought 2
explain
of these,
many
by the way.
things.
The other one
exactly.
didn't make it.
The other one had a
order the
straw.
court to strike
Oh,
that
yeah.
from the record.
Exactly.
So we definitely need to get into some of that. I love the pit
The
and the
pit
pendulum.
and
The
pendulum.
Pendulum is
Oh,
great.
Yeah, this
yeah.
is one of the original bottles. That was the first shipment. I bought 2, drank 1, and then I aged this one.
Underrated
This
brew.
what?
Underrated. brew.
Definitely.
There
Oh,
was
yeah, people give
that
it
like fruited
crap.
sours and that. It
They're
really
they
doesn't
were
get the love
sexy
it
as can
should
be
get.
when they first came out. They just kept getting better.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good times. All right. Do you have
So,
you have a giveaway to give away?
I got a
We've
giveaway to
that.
give away, so we'll do that. Then the hot
We'll do
list,
some-
and then banter.
We'll do some
or
banter. Let's do that. Let's banter away.
Want to give the giveaway a giveaway?
Yeah, let's do
How
it.
do you want to do this, Aaron? I
All
don't
right,
know
man,
what
we're
we're
gonna
doing.
go
The
ahead
sooner
and-
you do it, the more sober Tim will be when it
Exactly.
happens.
So let's we do the giveaway first just to make sure that it's done out of the way, and then
Fine.
we'll hot list it, and then we'll go back to some
And
banter.
then we'll just BS.
Yeah.
Fine. Let's do
It
this.
is the 4th of July weekend.
Who's
We can
bringing
chill
us
out.
in? You bring. I don't know who
I'll
took
bring
us
us
out.
in. I'll bring
All
us
right.
in. All right, here we go. Just make sure I got that. Okay.
I could bring us in.
You could. You could. All right, here we go.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Shake it back!
That's right. Welcome back to the Beer Guys Radio Show. BeerGuysRadio.com is our website. You can find us on the socials and all that good stuff as well. Speaking of good stuff, Tim, we've got a giveaway to give away.
We do. We've got some good stuff to give away.
Yep.
A craft beer swag pack.
I love me some swag packs.
And Brian Hewitt, he actually hand wrote 1,000 numbers and drew us a number out of the hat for our winner.
That's dedication right
Brian, who is our swag winner this week?
Our swag winner is Lance Curry.
All right. Lance, congratulations. Thanks for following us along. Give us an email. Drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com. Give us your contact info, and we'll send a swag pack out your way.
That sounds like a plan. Hey, we're going to do some banter coming up a little bit later on. But first, we have got...
Time for the hot list. The Beer Guys have the scoop on what you need to know for next week.
That's hot.
So it's 4th of July weekend, Tim. We've got some stuff going on. There's some things going on. Brian's getting a little bit crazy out there. Maybe
I don't know what he's talking about. He's pointing and something's giving him the giggles.
Piggy Smalls.
I had to put that in there. Okay, this is the Alabama hot list, and this cracked me up. This is going on today, or actually the 4th of July weekend, Saturday, Hop City, Birmingham. They're having a 4th of July weekend kind of barbecue fest again on the Saturday, so it's not the 4th. But the barbecue name, I just had to put it in there. It's called Piggy Smalls Barbecue.
That's great.
How you live in Piggy Smalls. That's it.
Piggy, can't you see?
That is a fantastic name. Whoever made the name Piggy Smalls Barbecue, I'll give them kudos and I will buy them a beer next time I see them. A couple of other things going on, of course.
Focus, Aaron.
Yes, focus. Trim Tab. We just talked to Harris there from Trim Tab. On Monday, they're having an Audio Vort hot tag, a little bit of a music thing going on. That's from 4 to 10 p.m. And in Hop City, Birmingham, once again on Thursday, our friends from Terrapin, they're having a release and tasting party there. So
what are they releasing over there? Which beer is it?
I'm not 100% sure. I could not figure out what that was.
But they're releasing it
and they're releasing it.
So go for it.
Could it be the high 10?
I bet it probably
is that it?
Yeah,
I wasn't sure the release date on that.
I've seen the artwork, and I wasn't sure about it, but that's the only one that I have seen lately.
I know
that
you know
could
what?
be.
They've got the oatmeal pale ale too.
That's right.
That we talked about last week, and I know that. What's the date? Is that the 2nd?
That's the
So I think they said they're releasing the oatmeal pale at the brewery on the 2nd.
This will be like around the 7th, I believe, is what it is.
Okay,
so that might be what it is.
They were waiting on cans to get the market release.
Well, cool. So anyway, just head over to Hop City, Birmingham. Terrapin's on tap. That's good time. So what about Georgia?
Let me tell you about Georgia.
Yes.
So here is the stuff coming up. A few events that you want to catch. For the full list of events in both Alabama and Georgia, visit beerguysradio.com. We'll have this week in Georgia beer and Alabama beer with the full list of news, events, and beer releases.
And Tim, if they would want to subscribe to the list of Georgia beer, how would they do that?
You know what? If you go to beerguysradio.com, there is you'll get a pop-up or a banner there where you can sign up for the email list. You'll get it every Friday morning in your inbox, and it will enter you to win one of our awesome swag bags.
Amazing. So what's going on this week?
So in Georgia this week, you want to check out Grumpy Old Men's anniversary party today. So check it out. They're turning 3 years old. Sunday in Kennesaw, the Nest is having their first annual pig roast. So they said that they'll have a whole hog coming off of the smoker every hour on the hour. So check it out. I will probably be at that one. So that
sounds like a winner right there.
Yeah, my dad's coming into town, so I think I'm going to take him out for a pig roast there. So. And then Thursday, Second Self's grand opening. We had them on, and they've just remodeled their brewery, expanded, and they're welcoming you to come check it out.
That's cool. I like that. So good.
Yeah.
Nice little list. Like I said, beerguysradio.com has the full list of Georgia and Alabama beer events going on.
Yep.
So, hey, it's 4th of July weekend. You got any other big plans going on, Tim?
I am going down to Brian Hewitt's place. Brian's got a nice view in Buckhead. We get to stay out of the heat, possibly the rain and the traffic. We open some beers, we cook out, and we look out over the Atlanta skies at the fireworks happening. We can see Buckhead downtown, a few Centennial Park, Buckhead.
I think so, yeah.
We've done that for several years
out
now.
Near Stone
haven't
Mountain,
we?
if you look right.
Yeah. So that's my 4th of July. How about you?
I might have to find some babysitting for that because
Come on down.
That looks pretty cool.
You actually have the invitation.
I know I do. I need to figure that out. Figure out the babysitting. So yeah, we've got really nothing else going on. We're like I said, we're boring suburban people. Yeah, we're kind of chilling.
Bring
out
the
a
whole
little
family.
Bit. I could. Yes, my son.
Do your kids drink?
They're the drivers, actually.
Okay,
so that's
good.
You know, and the oldest one is going to Maine for the summer on the July 4th.
All right.
So we're going to ship him off to Maine, and we will follow here in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But
Mike, how about you? What's your fourth hold?
I got some family coming to town, and then other than that, I'm just gonna do some smoking on the old Komodo Joe with my beautiful wife and daughter. That's about it.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Speaking of a plan, by the way, we've been cracking open a couple of the Oregon beers that Brian has been gracious enough to give us here from his trip. This one is a Boneyard Hop Venom Double IPA in one of the coolest crowlers I've ever seen, which is looks like a big old Foster's oil
That
can
is a cool
from back
crowler.
in the day.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that, if you can, Brian.
You know, I know that Boneyard. It's been high on my radar every time I go back. I'm from Portland, and it's new since I left, and they just get such high marks on their IPAs. They're out of Bend, Oregon. They don't. Not a lot of them go into any kind of like a can or bottle format. You just have to look around to find them on tap. I just happened to find that one and another one. Their triple, which is amazing.
Wow.
Where's that,
tap.
Brian?
What's that?
Where's the triple?
The triple was at a place called Back.
No.
Where is
You're
it?
misunderstanding me here.
It was in my belly.
Okay,
it's
that doesn't
probably
do
in
me
some
any
of
good.
my fat cells right now. Yeah. It's a local kind of a big deal. I think it's made its way out to some tasters around the country, and it's been really highly rated.
Yeah, this is delicious.
Yeah. Now you got a
hoarding
chance
this one.
to hit a few other places while you're out there, right?
Oh yeah. So I did hit Backpedal. It was one of the first places I went to, kind of a new place over there, and they had a bunch of their own taps. Good beer. They had some guest taps. That's where I first had the Boneyard Triple, which was really noteworthy. Went to Barrel, Barrel 10, I believe is the name of it. Yeah, I'm going to get that wrong. I made a point, though. The big things were I had to go to Cascade and I had to go to DeGard. And DeGard was the big one because the last time I was there, I missed them. And DeGard is awesome. I just got to say.
Absolutely.
It's just it's like an office park, and they have like 3 different buildings, and they're all full of barrels and a tiny tap room, and they've got just like 6 options pouring. They're all really good. A few options you can take away in bottle, and a huge book, like a cellar list of stuff that you can buy and drink there. It was
Now, am I
fantastic.
mistaken? Do they do all or most of their fermentation is just open fermentation there?
Yeah, it's not open fermentation. They were quick to tell me it's like an open inoculation, and then they immediately put it into barrels.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about it, I want to throw that in there, is the guys that set this up actually spent a year. They went up and down the coast, collected samples of wild yeast, made lambics, and tasted all of them before they chose Tillamook.
How Tillamook tasted
they
is how
spent a year.
it was all the cheese in there.
It's all the cheese. Exactly.
Which may explain that last beer we opened.
That's a little funky, that cigar that we had. Yes.
You know what, though? When you have the spontaneous beers in that, you do get some stuff can be sometimes unpredictable.
I think it's a combination of where it's at, the climate. They can do these wild harvestings most of the year. They got rivers. They've got all the farms around. You can smell the farms. And they've got the cheese factory nearby. So they got all of these elements, and it really, makes for a great thing. I also went to Cascade. Cascade's great. They rolled out, they must have known I was coming. They rolled out Bourbonic Plague, so I got to try that. I was pretty happy about that. And that's always a fun place. That's a really fun place to go. They got tons of stuff.
Now, we did get a DeGard that was a little funky just a minute ago. But
Houblon Pêche.
But I love their beers. I mean,
Yes.
they're one of my favorites. Just the character that they have there. I think Imperial Boo is, they do a series of Boo beers.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right? So I've had the
Is that your
apricot Boo. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my
That's your
Boo.
Boo.
I
Okay.
believe all the boos are actually Berliners. They're
Okay.
all Berliner bases,
Gotcha.
and then that's what the boo connotates. So it's just what they put
But
in.
they're good beers. We had an apricot Boo this weekend.
Yes.
That we opened up and just really enjoyed them. So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
I
it's
got to tell you,
fantastic.
though, that I wish they would put their unblended lambic, their base style, that's not in the booze, but everything else. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
nothing,
just pouring
only
there.
there though, right?
Only there. Yeah, it's worth a trip.
See.
If it's a pain to get to, you have to fly into Portland. You have to drive for like an hour plus to get there, but totally worth it.
Worth the trip.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, got a few more minutes left. Mike, you've been quiet in this conversation. We're talking to
I took a
Brian.
nap.
So.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yes.
It's all good with the good beers here. I don't blame you. Tell us a little bit about Taproom Press and what you're doing with the blogging thing.
Yeah, so it's a blog I just started a couple months ago. It's just getting off the ground now. Still working on my first couple big articles. I wrote a nice one about a meadery, Etowah meadery that's going to be opening up later this year up in Dahlonega.
Okay.
Some great stuff. Really, really progressive. He's got a banana split coming next year.
Banana
sounds
split
good.
mead.
Ooh, yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true to life. But no, it's kind of in its infant stages. Working on mostly tasting notes right now, and then got some ties out there, trying to get a hold of a couple different breweries. Want to talk about Cherry Street and what they're doing up there and coming. But yeah, just get my sea legs on for right now.
Good.
Cherry Street's got their first beer fest coming up soon. I think it's July 23rd.
Yep.
And
they're
cornhole
doing a
tournament.
big fest up there in cornhole tournament.
That's right.
Cornhole's big.
It is big for us
Georgia.
OTPers and
Cornholing
everything.
is
Yes.
big in Georgia.
You know,
Well,
the
listen
first.
now.
Let me tell you this. So the first time I heard that, it's probably been a decade ago. I worked at this company, and there was a guy there from Cleveland, and we went out on a company outing to Andretti Speed Lab.
Yeah, okay.
And we're riding back, and this guy, we're just kind of laughing, and he's driving us, and he says, "Guys, you know what we should do? We should get together for some cornhole." Silence. Silence. None of us had heard the term at the time, so. And we're like, I don't know about that, Fred. I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
odd term, but it's always a good game. So hey, anyway, it's time to wrap it up for a Beer Guys Radio Show on this 4th of July holiday weekend. I'm Aaron Williams.
I am Tim Dennis.
Don't forget to always drink local. Next week, we're talking home brewing. We've got Jim Walker and Nate Watkins on the show. Again, cheers and have a great 4th of July. Yeah, I'll have to clean this one up a little bit.
Maybe I shouldn't have said anything about cornhole.
That was
but it
pretty
kind of
fun.
fit
That
in.
was
It's like,
really
Georgia
funny.
loves
About that.
cornhole.
I'm just like, I'm not going to go there, but that's okay. So
You didn't have to. You have me.
I didn't have to.
I can be
Exactly.
thrown. I
Brian's
can be
coming
thrown
through,
off the
so.
air and
Yes.
never be allowed in again,
That's
and it's
true.
fine.
That's
And
true.
you
Guess
still get
who's
the joke.
never coming back? Guess who's no longer a friend of the show?
That's right. I'm taking his crowler and going home is what I'm doing. That's it.
And now coming up with cigar digression from enemy of the show, Brian Hughes.
Enemy of the show.
That's it.
It's like after I get done smoking this cigar, I will be fighting Tim Dennis.
That's right.
It's important to light up this big peppery cigar first.
Oops.
I get notes. I'm going to murder your family. What's the sense of? Do.
Well, Facebook friends, thank you so much for joining us for this show, by the way. Just like I said, I'm going to cut this up. I'm going to post it on Thursday so you can have it on your 4th of July travels. But enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off.
We're gonna
now.
kill
We're
the
gonna get some more
stream.
shenanigans right now, so.
Because it's about
Cheers,
to get
everybody.
real.
Cheers.